Okay, some quick hints for sewing badges on with a sewing machine. First of all, you got to keep the badges in place while you're sewing them on. I used to always pin them through the back, which was hard to do, and I'd break my pins and then it wouldn't even lay flat. And then my mom gave me the great idea of pinning through the threads instead of the backing. So I either go from one badge to another through the threads, like here and here, or I go uniform, threads, uniform. And then that badge is there, it's perfectly flat, it's not moving, and so that's how I usually pin. If I don't pin, sometimes I've used tape. I just put from one edge to the other tape, I sew right over the tape and then I pull it off. Or a lot of these badges have this shiny background, so I think that's maybe supposed to be iron-on, but it's not permanent. It's not very long-lasting. So, but I have, especially with the stars, I sometimes will iron them on, and they will stick for a little while, but then I go back and I sew over them just to keep them stuck there. Second thing, once you have them pinned on, then in your sewing machine, I would recommend using a heavyweight needle, like 116, because that's this one here too. It's for heavyweight woven fabrics, and that way it won't break when it's going through this thick backing of the badges. My next hint is, well, you can use, some thread that matches the color of whatever you're sewing on, but I really like this. It's called invisible thread or nylon thread. It is a little bit harder to work with. It's very slippery. It's hard to, it's harder maybe to thread it because you can't really see it that well. But that's also the beauty, because then when it comes time to sew lots of badges of different colors, you can just sew over any badge, any place, and it's fine because you don't see it. Like any of these badges, I don't have to change my thread every time or have my thread be really obvious because it just blends right in. Now, if you use the invisible thread, my last tip, do not use invisible thread in the bobbin. Use regular thread. I usually try to match it to the background, the uniform fabric. So, because this is crazy to work with in the bobbin. Anyway, those are my tips.